Okay, question of the day is, what lesson or activity do you think your students enjoyed the most in your classroom this year? So for example, mine would be whenever my 8th grade class made homemade ice cream. I think they had a lot of fun with that, even though it destroyed my classroom.
I think my yearbook kids especially like going around town to get advertisements for the yearbook.
U.S. history. They love the 1950s, Cold War, and so do I, and it's just a fun time.
On my Province Stats, they make board games. They get to design their own board game, and then after they design it, we go and they get to play each other's games. I think that's one of their favorite activities, and probably mine as well.
Hey, I think probably one of my favorite activities to do each year with the kids in food science, I have them design an addictive food, something that's high in salt, fat, or sugar, and they have to try to convince the other students that it is in fact an addictive food.
Probably scavenger hunt thing we do over literal formulas and stuff where they have to move around and they have fun with it. So
early in the semester in world history, they really get into the Egyptians and Egypt and their crazy religions, and we talk a lot about that. And then we get into Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. We go back and kind of talk about some of the similarities that a lot of religions have, and they kind of really look funny at you when you start talking about it.
I think they missed just sitting at our back table, and we would all just sit there together and work on algebra homework and try to help each other out, and we would just hang out and talk, and I think we're all missing that right now. So
we do the Anne Frank play every year, and before we start, we do a virtual tour of the secret annex, and that's really fun. The kids really enjoy that.
It's not exactly an activity, but every Wednesday, my ELA lab we would get in a circle and read a novel together, so the kids would always get really excited about that.
I think the first practice of every season where the kids are excited and ready to do something new.
Yeah, I think in the Math 7, they always enjoy the unit on taxes, banks, interest, and they have, surprisingly, some teachers have a lot of thoughts on all that stuff.
Our polynomial unit was awesome because just the whole time these kids were kind of going, whoa, this is easy. So it was like a really cool little, every activity we did, everyone kind of picked up pretty quick. So that's kind of makes for fun math, apparently, when it's easily understandable.
The sight reading the marching band music for the next year for the first time. They always get a kick out of seeing it and getting to play it.
My 7th graders really enjoyed, we watched a documentary called On the Way to School, and it follows 4 kids around their age in different countries and their journeys to and from school. And so they really enjoyed getting to see other cultures and other countries, but then also kind of creating a little bit of empathy and a little bit of appreciation also on their end for the education that they get here.
Physical, when we're doing physical and chemical changes in 7th grade science, we go outside and do a Diet Coke and Mentos rocket, and they enjoy that, changing up the scenery of the classroom.
This question is actually one that I've already asked my students as one of our questions here, and they said that they miss reading together on Fridays and having those discussions over our books.
My topics in history class, we did a World War II battle research activity. I think they really enjoyed that activity.
Last year we started something with the junior high. Miss Scott and I did. We did like a little music theory relay race type thing, and that was really fun. And then something else that I think my kids really like at the end of the year, we do lip sync battles against each other, and whichever student wins gets like extra credit towards the grade. So either of those.
My AP students really enjoyed this year. We had Mr. Mori come in, and we created like fictional people, and then they had to argue from their fictional person's point of view, and they had a lot of fun and creativity with that.
Initially, I would have said my first thought was anytime I was absent, but honestly, lab, they seem to enjoy. We would have a game once a week, and they like the blank slate game, which is a fill in the blank game. And I think my English classes seem to enjoy, we read the script for A Christmas Carol right before the holidays, and they kind of got into it and did the voices and stuff. It was really fun. And film lit, I think the film that they ended up so far liking the most, I want to say the Modern Times, Charlie Chaplin, black and white silent film that we watched so far.
I think some of my German students' favorite moments this year were during the week that the German exchange students were here.
We had lessons with their teachers and students in our class, interacting with them, asking questions, discussing things. And obviously that was some real world experience right there.
I would say ag power missing welding. There's a wide variety of kids in that class, and some of the kids get really nervous, and it's nice after like about 3 to 4 weeks how comfortable they get with picking up a welder and getting it done and watching them kind of self-progress. So
I would like to think it would be any of the labs we do. I try to do a lot of labs, but I know one of their favorite ones is flame test, where they literally just dip different chemicals in water and then dip them in the fire, and they burn all different colors. I mean, turquoise, red, yellow, fuchsia, all these crazy colors, but it's due to electrons. But anyway, they love the color. They think that's a cool lab.
My 8th graders typically love the lab where we grow their bacteria. So they're totally grossed out and amazed at how much bacteria just happens to be on them and fungus. And the anatomy kids, we take a little tablet that numbs the tongue from certain types of taste. So they'll drink vinegar and it tastes amazing. And watching their minds explode is just, I think they enjoy it and remember that one.
My first thought would probably be fitness testing. Isn't that everybody's favorite thing? No, I'm just kidding. Probably anything in the pool, whether it's playing splash ball. Heck, I even have kids that fight over taking my attendance for me as kids come in the pool. So anything with the pool, I think, is what they miss the most.
I think my kids' favorite activity is when we make babies. So they're flipping coins. Don't worry. I hope. But they draw out their babies, and they're usually not too attractive. So
I'd say my English 12 kids, we do a zombie apocalypse persuasive letter. They draw characters that they have to become and write a letter and try to survive the zombie apocalypse. My 9th graders probably reading Night and discussing that Holocaust era book, and To Kill a Mockingbird for my honors kids, I would say.
First of all, I'd like to go to Mr. Stuckey's class. And second, I think it's so funny that we're all taking this moment to teach. I think we all miss teaching so much. And third, it's my FedEx days. The reason we call it FedEx Day is because they have to deliver a product. It's based on Google's 20% time, where the kids get to think through and make up their own projects. And it's incredible to see what they do. And a lot of times I steal their ideas.
P would be the pacer, square dancing, and health would be personality islands and relaxation.
Spanish 2 made commercials for Moon Gum this year, and it's the first time we did it, and they were incredible. Moon Gum will make you good looking, it will make you smart. Moon Gum will do whatever you need. So that was my, I think, their favorite thing this year.
I would say probably when we go to the gym and do scavenger hunts or do some things in the gym, they like to get up. Also, we go to the board quite a bit, probably 2 to 3 times a week, and they like to go to the board because they get to stand by their friend and talk while I'm not giving them a problem, so they can help each other.
Well, the 8th grade likes the Battle of New Orleans, the Johnny Horton song, where they get to stand up and learn the words of that, and then we actually have a performance at the end where they stand up and actually almost karaoke sing along with that. My business management class, doing interviews. We do mock interviews and give them really weird questions that you get in an interview. And my 7th grade typing or keyboarding class, they like to type with the lights off. So you can't see your hands, and that's a different way of doing it, but it really quiets down the class, and I really enjoy that.
My activity would probably be when I meet with the 8th grade students as they're getting ready to kind of prepare for going into high school. They love to see how much free time they're going to have when they get to high school to do fun classes. So those are always really fun meetings to do with the kids.
I think my art students really enjoy the FedEx days that Miss Green was talking about. And then I think they overall enjoy painting a lot. So yeah, I think they had the most fun painting.
For my CNA students, it is by far the hands-on clinicals in the nursing home and hospital and our nursing home residents. I know all my girls are missing the residents a lot.
Mine would be the senior interviews. The seniors put in so much hard work for that and then get such positive feedback from our community members. So I think they really appreciate that.
My kids really tend to dislike cardio days. They love having structure and being active. So I'd say the weight room, because it's just such an exciting adventure every day.
I would say that it's the sandwich unit that we do where kids break up into groups and everybody gets a different famous sandwich. They research it and then they make it and everybody gets to try it over the course of a couple of weeks.
It's got to be the junior high incentive trip when we
take the kids to the Devon and then Ravine Park. We've been fortunate with some weather the last few years, but that's our favorite activity of the year.
The Homecoming Olympics, it's a really cool time when kids get to dress up with their friends and participate in all the wonderful activities that you guys put together for them. So I think Homecoming Olympics is one that we got to experience this year that the kids missed the most.
My favorite lesson that we've done so far would be Julius Caesar in English 10 with Mrs. Hunter. The kids know how much I absolutely love doing that. In my class, though, I would say posting positives every Friday of what the kids have done, either a positive from their week at school or a positive from their week at home.
I think right at the top of the list, the kids just really love to do formal 2-column proofs, don't you think? That's no, I think they like the hands-on that we do kind of a roundabout way to get the proofs across.
And this is Mrs. Hunter. I know that the zombie apocalypse letter was already mentioned by Mrs. Beyer, and I know that there was zero sarcasm from Mrs. St. John about Julius Caesar, but I have to say our drama unit is so much fun. Doesn't matter what level the kids are in, they race into the classroom to sign up for parts, and they really ham it up, especially the kids that aren't typically in drama production. So always a ton of fun to have those drama units.
Cool. Okay, well, I think that's everyone.